Okay, so hello everyone. It's 5 p.m. in Poland, and I think that we can start. More and more people are slowly joining us. So I guess that some other people will join shortly. In the meantime, I would like to say, first of all, I would like to say hello to our today's guest, Melek and Michael. They are presenters today, and I'm very happy that they agreed for my invitation for this presentation. Our common topic for today is onboarding employees, very often connected with offboarding. And Michael will show you how it looks like in his organization, Advisory Solutions. And also Melek from Vectors will show you how you can use Confluence and their solutions to make this onboarding better in your organizations and more effective. This session is being recording, as you can see, so you will receive the email with link after this presentation. So if you have to go a little bit earlier, don't worry, because you will be able to come back to this presentation. After every presentation, it will be time for short Q&A session. So feel free to use chat, to use Q&A section, which we have in this tool, and our presenters will answer on these questions. So I think that this is it from short introduction. I am very happy that we have got more and more people on this meeting. So I think that we can start. We can start from Michael. With his presentation. So stage is yours, and you can share your screen and start.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to be talking today about efficient onboarding and offboarding using Jira Service Management. So a little about me and Advisory Solutions, the company I work for. So I've been working in IT for about 6 years in various roles. And throughout that time, I've been using Jira Service Management for about 3 of those years. I am JSM certified for cloud, and it's becoming more and more a part of my everyday world. So, just for some background, Advisory Solutions is a managed service provider in the IT space. So, we do outsourced IT support for many different small and medium sized businesses. We do a lot of employee on and offboarding. We do remote help desk, and we do a lot of device management, security practices, and hardware asset management. So we do a lot for our clients. But today I'm specifically going to be talking about how we do employee on and offboarding. We perform probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 on and offboardings for our clients per year. So we've had to get very good at it. So today I'm going to be showing you how we do some of that. Um, and our agenda today will be, I'll show a few slides going through 4 key elements that we found to have efficient on and offboarding practices. Then I'll go through a live demo, and later on we'll do a question and answer. So getting into the 4 key elements of efficient on and offboarding, the first one is using forms. Forms are absolutely amazing. Um, they allow you to intake data really simply by requiring certain fields, making certain fields conditional. It makes it very easy for the HR team to request the IT team to perform certain actions, such as what times to give people access to applications, when to send them an email with their credentials, what type of device to send them and ship them and provision them. Um, it allows you, and we use JSM forms, the native forms, which allows you to connect a form field directly to a Jira field. And by doing that, you can collect a huge amount of data, which allows you to do reporting. It allows you to trigger additional automations. So on the right side here, you'll see this is an example of one of our forms. This is for onboarding, which I will actually show you in the demo what this looks like and how we use it to create an onboarding ticket. So an HR person, um, someone in the people team on our clients will go into our support portal. They'll fill out a form, which creates a ticket, and then our IT team will handle it from there. The next thing that's super important for onboardings and offboardings is to have very thorough checklists. Checklist is just a list of tasks that need to be done for a specific on and offboarding, and each of our clients have a customized checklist. Now, these can be added to tickets using automation, which is what we do. We look up who the client is and we add their specific onboarding or offboarding checklist to our ticket. This allows us to have accountability for all the different technicians we have who perform these on and offboardings. It actually allows us to validate that they've completed or skipped specifically a checklist item before they complete the ticket. They have to have 100% of the checklist items marked off. This allows for really good accountability to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to do. It gives us a really great level of tracking. We know which tasks and items were skipped, which ones were completed, and which ones were not applicable. And then it allows for complete transparency too. So we actually show our checklists in our support portal, in the request portal in JSM, directly to our customers so they can always know where we're currently at in and on and offboarding and what we did specifically for that on and offboarding. So we use checklists for Jira Pro by Hero Coders. That's the Atlassian Marketplace app we use. And this is what it looks on the right side in the issue view of a Jira Service Management ticket. I will show you a little later what that looks like in our customer portal. The next element of efficient on and offboarding is really thorough documentation. Every one of our clients has their own documentation, which we are able to actually reuse portions of the same documentation for all of our clients, but we create custom documentation for each client because every one of them has different on and offboarding processes for their IT. Uh, so documentation is fantastic and is a great complement to our checklists. It allows us to show visually a step-by-step guide on what our technicians should be doing. It allows us to standardize those procedures across all of our IT technicians so they're all doing the same thing. It allows us to do really nice training for new employees. It gets them up to speed very quickly. And it acts as our source of truth. So we always know what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it. And advisory uses Confluence for our knowledge base and all of our documentation. So it all stays in one place. And I'll be able to show a little bit more on how our documentation looks in the live demo. And then the last and final element of efficient on and offboarding is great communication. This is probably the most underrated, but is so very necessary to make sure that every party is completely informed on what's being done. Um, so we will communicate directly with the new hire using a welcome email, which we will schedule to be sent at a specific date and time to invite them to their email platform, get access to all of their apps and their hardware. We send them hardware shipping and retrieving notifications. So every time that their device is shipped, every time it's received, they get an email so that everyone is kept in the loop. We send the requester or reporter of an on and offboarding ticket. We send them a completed notification telling them exactly what we did. So we'll say we've invited this user to these applications. We've sent them the hardware. Here's the tracking information. And we also have a self-service portal. So when the client goes in and looks at their ticket, they're going to see a very thorough, all the information about the checklist items. They're also going to see the notifications that we send over here, such as shipping and receiving. All you could see all the tracking information. This is actually sent via an automation, which is hooked up to a service we use to retrieve devices from offboarded employees. Over here on the right side, you can see a progress tracker of the shipping box in transit, so that the client knows exactly where that box is, and whether it's been returned to us, whether we're inspecting it, and then when the return has been completed. The same thing goes for onboarding, where we're shipping new devices and when they're delivered. And down here, you can see there's additional information such as who the user is, what their device serial number is, what the status of the shipment is, and the tracking information. So we use a combination of things to communicate effectively. We used canned responses within Jira Service Management. We use a lot of automations. So all of our shipping and retrieving automations are sending notifications to our clients directly through the ticket. And we also use the Atlassian Marketplace app called Feature Bundle, which is by Apps Bio, to show this beautiful progress tracker and these additional fields, which are not native to being able to see in the customer portal. So marketplace apps have definitely helped us add to our level of transparency and communication with our clients. So those were the four elements of efficient on and offboarding. But right now, I want to show you a demo of what this looks like within our support portal. So if you could see, this is the advisory support portal. Um, and we have different forms that can be submitted, regular IT request forms like for requesting applications, getting help with a problem. We have our on and offboarding forms right here, which I'll show you. And we also have the ability to submit hardware requests, request a new device, purchasing hardware, or retrieving devices. So today I'll show you a little bit about how an onboarding form looks for us. So here you should be able to see the onboard a new employee form in our support portal. We have this locked down so only specific users from our clients can access this form. So they will go to this first here, they will select the company that they're at, which will auto populate with just their company. And then they'll be able to see the entire rest of this form. They'll be able to fill out basic information such as who they are, what the employee's first and last name is, their employment type, whether they're full-time, part-time, or a contractor, their job title, their department, whether they have a team within that department, their personal email address, so we can send them notifications before their start date, employee's phone number in case we need to contact them or for the shipping of their device, their manager's email. Um, they can even select the applications that they're looking to give that employee, which pulls from our assets database. They could select the email groups to give them access to, their actual start date, and what day they should be emailed with their credentials to log in for the first time. Now, if the client selects that that employee also needs new hardware, such as a new device, laptop, headphones, monitor, they can click yes here and they're allowed to choose all the hardware that they need. They can choose whether they want to choose which device is in our warehouse to send to them or purchase a new device. They're allowed to choose whether they need a Mac or a Windows device, what type of device that they need, what kind of specs, and all the different things that they could possibly want. in that device, where that device should be shipped, the address for that employee, and they can choose to include special notes at the bottom and other people to include. When they click send to submit the form, that will create a ticket, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's an example of a completed or submitted ticket. You can see that the onboarding form has been fully filled out. So the client can always come back in here and see exactly what they've requested. Towards the bottom, you'll see that there's a checklist for their onboarding that is fully in the portal so that they can see every step of the onboarding and where we're currently at in each step. There's a progress tracker at the top. And then there's also a linked ticket here, a linked issue, which we're able to use a marketplace app to show the checklist and the linked issues. If we click to open that up, this is a separate ticket, which is created via automation to send that employee their new hardware. And you can then see over here, this is a request type of ship device from Advisory's warehouse. You can see the progress tracker of where this device is currently in transit to the employee. And you can see a bunch of additional information about the employee's device and their tracking information. And this also applies for offboardings as well. Here's an example of an offboarding form. Same form, client can see here. And then they also have a much longer checklist for offboarding. There's a lot of additional specifications that are needed when offboarding an employee. And here's what it looks like within our within JSM's issue view. You can see when they submit the form, we have all the forms mapped to Jira fields here. So all this information comes out very nicely, and this can all be reported on, every single thing in these fields. We can create really nice dashboards. We can create automations off of all this information that's being entered. And then when the technician takes this ticket, they can see the linked ticket here for the hardware. They can complete the checklist items as they go. They can choose options for checklists. And then they can complete the ticket once the checklist has been done, and they can send the requester back an update directly from the ticket, or our automations will also be able to do that. So, for example, if we want to use a canned response to say onboarding was completed, I can insert that canned response in here, simply update the user's name, update all the different information in here, and then click save and send that directly back to the reporter of this ticket. And then we can go in and complete it. And our documentation here is an example of what our documentation for each of our clients looks like on the back end. And every single step of our documentation will mirror the checklist. So when we're in here looking at this checklist, you can see there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The checklist does the same thing, follows here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And every single checklist item, some of them have more instructions underneath, which can be expanded to see the full process of what needs to be done, which keeps everything really nice and simple and able to be reused across all of our different clients' documentation if these steps are the same across our clients. So that is a peek under the hood of how we do efficient on and offboarding for many, many clients. It revolves around forms, checklists, documentation, um, and communication. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. I don't see questions on chat, but I have a questions, two questions. The first thing is that you presented that you use checklists, and I would like to ask, what is the benefit for you, the main benefit that you use checklists, not subtasks? Because you can
Ah,
always create a subtask also.
sure.
So why you decided that checklist is something which will be better for your use case?
For sure. Um, Checklists allow, without having to go in and create potentially unnecessary subtasks, because that becomes like a lot of overhead to make sure each one is, you have to go into each one with its own information. This made it very simple for us to, you know, update things very quickly because we are all about efficiency. So being able to check off those items very quickly. Also, we are able to add checklists, different checklists for different clients um, using automation, and we can store all of that checklist history directly inside of assets. So we actually use an automation using assets to pull in checklists directly onto each client's ticket. So it's made our automations even faster.
Okay. So nuts. Yes, I guess that it's one of the main benefits for many customers that they decided not to multiplicate and create many issues in Jira if it's not necessary. And my
Exactly.
second question, of course, it's okay. I see the question if it's Jira's native assets.
Yes, we're using Jira's native assets. The checklist marketplace application that we're using actually allows us to add a text field directly into it's called the checklist text field. And if you update that using a text field in Jira's native JSM's native assets, we can input that directly into the checklist text field, which will auto populate the checklist. So it's a fairly elegant implementation.
Yeah, and I also put a link on the chat to this to the marketplace to checklists which you use from Hero Coders. And my second question is about our app feature bundle which you use because you presented the progress tracker on
Yeah.
the request details view. And what is the configuration in your case? Do you use a status and map status to some steps? Or
Yeah,
how it works.
sure. So with our hardware tickets, when we do shipments or retrieving of devices, we have our workflows built out to map all of our different statuses, like provisioning device, preparing for shipment, device shipped, device received. We have all different statuses in our Jira workflow, and we're mapping different statuses directly to the progress tracker. So um, it's really we use FedEx for shipping, and what we do is we use the FedEx API to get real-time updates on the shipment progress, which will use Jira automations to automatically update the status of our ticket, which then automatically updates the progress tracker. So everything stays up to date in real time.
Okay, so it also sounds very nice and something which can be another presentation how it works with this REST
Yeah,
API
for sure.
from FedEx. I also put a link to the feature bundle, which the app which has this feature. Okay, so I don't see more questions on chat. So thank you very much once again, Michael. And now the time is for Melek.
Thanks a lot, Kate, and thanks a lot, Michael. This is pretty interesting. Like to see this, really cool. So, hi everyone. Let me share my screen first. Okay. Uh, Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Melek, and I'm the CPO of Vectors. We are Atlassian marketplace partner, and we do have apps and several apps related to knowledge management, and it goes from formatting of content or how you can set up your content within Confluence to structure it and make it more beautiful and easy to check and to read within Confluence. So the onboarding, for us, honestly, like we think that the experience can start from Confluence itself. Many people do have their documentation, their processes, their policies, and everything related to a new one coming within Confluence, which is like the tool to document everything. So for us, we think the experience can start from Confluence itself. And the first advice we do have, like to build a good onboarding hub within Confluence, is to start by having a strategy. Like ask yourself, what do you want to have? What is the path you want to have your new employee to follow? What are the most important information you want to have your employee to know and to check? Within enterprises, we know that there are many informations. You don't want like to set everything within the face of the new user and the new hire. Like he don't know, and he can't know everything like within the first day or the first week or even the first month. So try to first like write at least a map or what are the most important information you want to show him, what are the most important links he can visit, and what are the process to follow, like at least to check what's the first thing to do, what's the next thing to do, and so on. The second advice, we have been testing and with several customers, and we have been checking like internally, is to create a central hub. Some people do like set the information about the onboarding within the spaces based on the functionality and on the team, but we do strongly advise to have all the information grouped within a unique space. That would make the information like easier to access, and for someone who is new to the tool, especially to Confluence, probably he will not have to jump within the spaces to search for that information and to try to check what he where he want to find the information. So for our case, we do set a unique space, like which is a central hub where we set the information like related to the onboarding and the documents he needs to read or to follow or to check. And the second advice is keep it simple, keep it easy to read, keep it visual, add images, add colors, structure the content. Like sometimes people like just add a lot of text which can like do not encourage people to read those documents and to go through within them. So for example, within each space within Confluence, if people are like at their ease using it, you do have a landing page. We see the first page where you are going to land when you are opening the space. So here we added like a banner, we added some information related to what's the purpose of this page. We added some quick links, like for the website, for the documentation. It can be also links for tutorials, sorry, for the Slack channel, for any communication tool or whatever the information it is. So we set it here, for example, like very like few quick links for someone like to go in and to check. And we added the first set of information, which are the steps. So what do you want to do and what do you want to need within the first like or the first period of being a new user here, or even when you are going to leave, what are the steps that you have to do like when you are leaving. And we included here for our side the FAQ. So I'm going to speak after about the FAQ. So if you can see, we have been using some formatting macros. I do strongly encourage using this, like even our app or some other apps who are existing. There are many apps existing related to formatting within the marketplace. So it can give you like it can give a very impressive touch for your pages by adding like buttons, by adding expander boxes, like to set the information, by adding progress bars, by adding banners, panels, whatever like you want, or even using some macros like from Atlassian itself, like for example the card macro, or for the panel and expander macros. This can give a new dimension for your pages and for your content. And then once you have been like setting the space, setting the landing page, which is going to be the first step for your user to come in. You can select what are the information you want to highlight first. Like, we know that many people, as Michael, for example, displayed, they are setting their documentation and information within pages. So you can go ahead and set this within pages. We do encourage also to break the pages. Do not have very, very long pages. Try as much as possible, like, to break them within small pages. There's a very interesting hierarchy that can be followed within Atlassian space, so Confluence space. You can create as many pages as you want and create child pages and parent pages. This can be an interesting path, like, to follow. Or there are also a very interesting app within the marketplace, like from Fileti, the Pathways app, where you can set linked pages where someone, if he goes within the first page, he can after scroll to the second page and then go to the second page within a dedicated pathway. This way, he will not go to all the pages and visit everything and read everything. So this way, he will be focused on following a specific path when reading the pages. From our side, working within the customers have been like bringing to our like vision some use cases that we think they are really, really important when we are talking about onboarding, which are the FAQ and the glossary. So we do have an app like to structure the FAQs, which are like very important within a process of onboarding. This way you will have like structured content within categories, within FAQs. So at the first, you are going to have this dedicated view. The questions are set here as a kind of central hub for your users, and they are grouped by topic, by functionality, by whatever, like the split you want to have. So for example, here we have been creating an FAQ for technology and tools, a second FAQ for company culture, general FAQ for training, for policies, for whatever you want. And then within the FAQ itself, you can structure all those questions within topics, or categories. And we have been trying to split the information as much as possible. Like, it's a small question with a small response. No need to have very long informations like to have or to reply to a question. This way, like, they can get as much information as possible, like, easily, and they can be readable very, very quickly. We have been also adding the feature to include the pages within the FAQ listing. So you can add within that FAQ, for example, here, this has been coming from a case that we are having within a customer, with a customer where he wanted to have his policies who are written within pages to be listed within the FAQ itself. He didn't want like to recreate another set of questions to redirect to those information. So we included the ability to also list questions based on labels to link to directly to the procedure or to a certain policy you do have within that space. And all the information are kept within the onboarding hub. So native questions from the FAQ app and the pages are coexisting together. It's just a matter of linking the information together. And another information also, we have been like finding this very, very interesting for some users, specifically if you do have documentation related to technical terms, where the information, like if you have documentation, probably will be including like technical terms and specific definition and terminologies that are related to the company, for example. Using a glossary can be really interesting and specifically highlight information within that page. So we do have an app that gives you the ability to create a glossary, to list all the terms within that glossary. And simply when you are scrolling and reading that documentation or the pages of information, you simply click on the book button and then you will get all the terms listed, highlighted. And simply by clicking on the term, you will get its definition here. This way, I'm not lost as a new person. I'm not lost with all those technical terms. And I get like easily, I do understand what's happening within the document and what people are talking about within the document. So basically that's it. So just trying to centralize the information within a space, that's pretty one of the most important like advice we can give to people who are attending to this session, like to avoid having people lost within Confluence. also trying to use all the macros, all the capabilities, either from apps or from Atlassian or Confluence native like macros, like to format the document, add colors, add images, add structured content, and try to split. Do not have very, very long pages. Try to split as much as possible the pages. And then we do encourage also to have dedicated apps, for example, the FAQ, the glossary. Also, there are LMS apps, like, for example, to follow courses and trainings. There are really interesting apps within the marketplace that can do this. We do really encourage to have this, like to make the user and the UI user at his ease when he is going to join this very jungle of documentation within Confluence. Voila, that's it. That's it. A very, very quick demo related to what you can do and what are the capabilities when you are like planning and crafting this space related to onboarding within Confluence.
Thank you very much, Melek. And I would like to ask about Loom, because now we have got in every place in Confluence and also in
Yeah.
Jira some advertising of Loom, using Loom. So what do you think about using it in case of onboarding processes?
Sure. That can be really interesting. Also, like people are getting more and more on media and on videos and everything related to media content. So probably including this. What's also interesting with Loom that the ability to get embedded easily within Confluence is like part of the Atlassian family. So probably it's going to be embedded easily within the content. But sometimes also I have been seeing this. People do have both content within the page. So they do include media content, and then they do have information related to the text, checklist, like what steps you can do, a kind of recap within the page. This can be really interesting to mix both. It doesn't have to be either a page or a Loom like video. So probably it's really interesting to have this, and especially as you said, Atlassian is popping that icon pretty much like recently. So probably this is interesting to have to give it a try. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is also idea for Michael for his using of Confluence, and we saw some instructions. So maybe this is idea how to present it in a little bit different way. Okay, so I think that we don't have more questions on chat, so I guess that we can finish for today. Once again, I would like to say big thank you to Melek and Michael that they today they joined us and presented their use cases and some best practices and tips about onboarding processes and offboarding processes in their companies. I hope that you find something new for you and something useful. Also, I highly encourage you to see the material which I put on the chat. About onboarding, we created this ebook with vectors this year. So I guess that it can be something interesting for you, because it's not only about use cases, but in general about onboarding processes in your companies, because this is one of the most important part during the whole life in our life cycle in the companies. So once again, thank you very much, and I would like to wish you have a nice day or evening depending on place where you are now. So once again, thank you very much, and I hope that we will see you soon, maybe during the Team 25 in Anaheim.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Kane, for organizing this. Thank you. Thanks very
Thank
much.
Yeah,
you.
thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Michael. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.